We welcome you to Big East Shootaround from Stout Bar, New York City, the brand new Bryant Park location. It is fantastic here at West 39th Street ahead of a three-game night in Big East Hoops. Stout, proud to host Big East Shootaround again, and we're proud to be here with our partners. Folks, there is no better place. They were speaking my language from the get-go. I arrived here within 2 minutes. The wings arrived to the table. We've got a great show for you tonight ahead of a big one, a top 20 showdown in stores at Gamble Pavilion as UConn welcomes in Providence. That comes your way 6:30 Eastern Time on FS1. One of three games tonight, 8:30 on FS1. It will be DePaul welcoming in Butler, and at 9 o'clock CBS Sports Network, it's Georgetown and St. John's. Remember the drama that was produced when those two teams met earlier this season. A.J. Storr came up with a game winner for the Red Storm. The rematch tonight. Here we are, folks. As I'm talking to you right now, we are 2 weeks exactly from the Big East tournament. And come to Stout. There are a couple locations across New York City. This is the brand new Bryant Park location that we're at on West 39th Street. Folks, they're going to have a Big East burger, which I'm going to try coming up. We'll let you know the ingredients of that. There's some Big East themes to that. They've got specials among beers as well that you can get during Big East Tournament Week. So you got the burger and beer special. You've got great appetizers, great friends. It's awesome to talk hoops in here, and we're going to do that tonight as we turn to our headlines. And we begin with the Big East standings, folks. Wow. Last night, the Marquette Golden Eagles made the statement of all statements by winning at Creighton 73-71. An amazing victory for Shaka Smart's team, in which Tyler Kolek was fantastic in leading the Golden Eagles. If he ends up being Big East Player of the Year, last night will be viewed as the night that he cements it. So they're at 14-3. You've got Providence entering the night at 12-4. Friars, if they're going to have hopes of still getting this Big East championship, they've got to win tonight at UConn for all intents and purposes. But last night, we saw the surprises that the Big East can deliver. Xavier losing at home for the first time in Big East play. The Musketeers falling to Villanova, so now Xavier is at 12-5 in the Big East standings. Villanova, are they going to be the dark horse 2 weeks from now at the Big East tournament? We shall see. And Creighton falling to 12-5 with that home loss to Marquette. I would be very curious to see what happens if the Blue Jays and Golden Eagles met again in the Big East tournament, because Marquette, they swept the regular season series with that dramatic victory last night. So, the Golden Eagles are flying high, folks. Let's reflect on them. This is a team, they didn't get some major transfer portal addition. They didn't make some splash with their freshman class. They've done it with organic player development. Guys getting better steadily. And you think about Kolek, who was a three-star recruit, an under-recruited guy who ended up at George Mason. Now he's a Big East Player of the Year frontrunner. You think about Cam Jones and the bucket getter he's become. All off of hard work, folks. Hard work pays off, and it has for Marquette with Omax Prosper, with Oso Iguodaro, who, folks, right now is as big of a matchup nightmare that you're going to find in the Big East, because at the 5 position, he could pull guys like Ryan Kalkbrenner out to the perimeter, and last night it produced a great performance for Iguodaro. 18 points, had about 6 rebounds in that game as well. And for Marquette, 36 of their 41 points in the second half came from Kolek, Jones, and Oso Iguodaro. Shaka Smart deserves National Coach of the Year candidacy. There's no question about it. Look, because for him to have this Marquette team at 22-6 overall and 14-3 in the Big East is wild stuff. Now, there's plenty to be figured out in the Big East race, which is where we turn next. You've got Providence, you've got Connecticut tonight. And the Friars at 12-4 in the Big East, they'd like to stay in this race and get to 13-4. It's going to be hard, though, folks, because Gamble will be unconsciously loud. They've got $2 brews there, and it is going to be a ruckus atmosphere. In that first meeting, it was actually Donovan Clingan who came up big for Connecticut. So how do things go in the paint tonight? And can UConn find an answer to Bryce, Hopkins, because Bryce Hopkins has been absolutely tremendous for the Friars. Remember another Bryce in Big East tournament history? I'm talking about Cotton and what he did with the Friars in the 20 tournament run. Ed Cooley's coming up in a few moments to talk with us about that. Hey, there's another Bryce, and he'd like to write his life at the Garden in a couple of weeks. He charged the Friars, had 27 again against UConn the first time out. Ed Croswell had a double-double for Connecticut. They need Adama Sanogo and Donovan Clingan to play big boy basketball. And the biggest thing at the end of the day is you need Jordan Hawkins to be knocking down perimeter shots from the get-go. So that's a big game in stores. And, hey, we've got a full preview for you on that game tonight. We've got an Ask the Expert segment coming your way here shortly. But I went one-on-one with Ed Cooley to talk about this journey here for the Providence Friars. The Friars, they were a team that entered conference play with work to do. This was a Providence team, folks, that had work to be done, but they've done it with marquee wins and with a 17-game winning streak inside Amica Mutual Pavilion. Now, can Providence College be able to do it on the road? That's the test at hand. We talked with Ed Cooley about that and took a trip down Big East Tournament memory lane. More to come from Stout, but first, here's that conversation. It's great to be joined by Providence head coach Ed Cooley ahead of the Friars matchup with UConn, Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern Time, FS1. Ed, thanks so much for taking the time. Before we talk about the matchup with Connecticut, how would you describe the wild ride that the Big East season has been in this crazy regular season title race?
Well, I think it's the depth of the league. You know, any night, it's not coach speak, it's reality. Every night is an opportunity for a team to knock somebody off. You got to protect your home turf. When you look at some of the home records in our league, I mean, we got to be up there with some of the best home courts in the country. So, you know, it's just the quality of the league, it's the depth of the league, it's the talent of the league, and it's going to make for a really exciting finish.
When you first met UConn this season, January the 4th, Bryce Hopkins goes for 27 points. You win 73-61. What did you take from that first meeting with Connecticut that you apply with your team here into the rematch?
Well, we know we're going to walk into a really, really hostile situation, some of which they walked into when they walked into Amica Mutual Pavilion. You know, they're playing on campus. There'll be a lot of energy. You know, you got two top 20 programs, two very physical teams, two, defensive-minded teams. I think it's going to be, the carryover is you got to make sure you don't turn the ball over. You got to try to get to the free throw line, and you got to try to make and take open shots.
Ed, the people on the outside enjoy talking about this because we believe it's fun and good for college basketball. Providence, UConn, is it a rivalry?
I would say it's a regional rivalry. I think it is, with respect to, it's two New England schools. It's two old school Big East schools. We're 50 some odd miles away. Some of the fans wouldn't think it's a rivalry. I think it's a regional rivalry that continues to grow more and more and more. But I just look at, the Connecticut fan base that has been so spoiled with such great coaching. And I think that they took winning for granted. And, when they left the Big East, they saw how important the Big East brand was and is. And now they're back, and they are now once again elite in the country. And, they have an elite coach, they have elite players. But, I just think you can't take for granted the greatness of the coaches that have, particularly Calhoun that has been here with Oriema.
You're able to give yourself an opportunity to win on the road Wednesday night against UConn specifically by doing what?
You got to limit them to one shot. They're one of the better rebounding teams we've played in years. You got to make sure that you have high attention to Hawkins and Sanogo, two great, great players. But, Newton has been playing really well for them. Donovan Clingan is getting better and better by the day. So his length and his versatility in the interior and being able to guard the rim, that's something you got to be aware of. And then they got an X-factor guy and, Caravan, who, has had a fantastic freshman year. and then you're going to have to deal with the elements of which we're going to walk into. It sets up for a classic, old school backyard fight, and it should be exciting. Everybody on Fox should be excited about that. 6:30 from Stores, Connecticut. Get your popcorn, get your candy, get your goggles, get your pom-poms. It's going to be an exciting game.
Last but not least, as we're talking, we're 2 weeks away from the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. When you were at the Garden playing St. John's, you said there's just nothing like the Big East tournament inside the world's most famous arena. Oftentimes, Ed, when I say, hey, let's go down memory lane, everybody's always talking about 80s and 90s, but I'm going to talk about 2014 with you because now we're in the 10th year of this reconfigured league.
Right.
You won a Big East championship in the first year of it. You've experienced the Garden moment of winning a Big East championship.
Yep.
When you think about that, what pops in your head?
Community, alumni, student athlete, like joy, being able to play on that stage and win on that stage. There's nothing better than winning on that stage, and just the adulation you get. If we're fortunate to advance in that tournament when we get there, that'll be something that'll be, it's a memorable moment.
We'll grab our popcorn Wednesday night, Ed Cooley. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Big East Shootaround. We're at Stout Bar, New York City at West 39th Street, the brand new Bryant Park location. This place is awesome for hoops talk. I know these guys are ready for some big-time hoops. Providence and UConn, Top 20 Showdown coming up in Stores on FS1, 6:30 Eastern Time. And we're going to play some trivia, guys. Come on in. We've got Greg and Paul. We've got CJ and Kirby. So when did you guys graduate from Friartown?
2002.
2001.
And we're both 2015 alum.
All right. So we've got some more experience here. Notice I didn't see you're older. Seasoned experience, and we've got some younger Friars here. So here's the first thing that I'm going to ask you. I'm going to start with you two. Tell me what comes to mind when you think about the last 2 years of Providence College basketball, what it's been like to be a Friar fan during this run of success.
Getting to that Sweet 16 last year just validated all the work that Ed's been doing over the last 10 years. I mean, that his hire to come into the program just changed Providence. It changed the program. It changed, I think, all our lives as Providence fans.
Yeah, agree. I grew up in Rhode Island and have followed the Friars all my life. And there was a bit of a dry spell, through our years at Providence. There was a dry spell, and Ed Cooley turned it around. And I think a lot of this rests on, the community, the Friars family, and Ed Cooley just putting his stamp on the program.
Is there a better home court advantage in college basketball?
Absolutely not. The AMP is the best. It's tops in college basketball. We're from Ed Cooley's freshman year, actually. So we were Cooley's first year, and to go all the way back to where we are now, it's incredible. The student section in the last 10 years has made tremendous leaps. We try to go to a away game every year. So we were at Creighton earlier, which is a loss. But it's just a phenomenal atmosphere.
And I think you have to just look at their record at home over the last 2 years. Only one loss,
right,
across all of there. And they're only one of the few teams left with a winning record, or undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So it really goes to show the crowd advantage that the AMP offers to the Friars.
I'm going to ask you guys before we do trivia here. I could talk about all we want. I'd never been in here until tonight. How about this spot for watching games? Tell Big East folks that are going to come out here to Stout, tell them a little bit about it.
We're big fans of Stout. We always go to Stout before the Big East tournament. It's kind of a tradition.
Yeah, we were just talking before. We love the new venue. The ceiling's really dampen the noise, so it's not you can still have a conversation. Food is great. Drinks are great.
Perfect place to watch sports.
Are we ready for trivia?
I think so.
All right, here we go. So here's what's on the line. I'm going to ask 3 questions here. And I'm going to watch here for hands to go up and have my best vision. We'll use our live audience as well. 3 questions, best 2 out of 3 wins, okay? The winners get Big East tournament tickets. The losers still get a Stout gift certificate. So really, it's really not that bad here, right? I mean, You might not want the 1 seed in the Big East tournament this year. You might be willing to take the 2 or the 3 seed in this instance. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. Are we ready for trivia?
Yes.
All right, I'm backing away here because they can't see me. Okay, I'm backing up a step. I've got questions here. Question number 1. Who has won the most Big East tournament championships all time?
UConn.
That is incorrect.
Just say it.
Villanova.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect. The correct answer. Well, you know what? I'm going to save it for the second round of trivia. I'm not going to give it to you. That's coming up on the show. You both probably know it now because you went through UConn and Villanova, right? All right, here we go. Second question here. So we're dead even. This is 0-0 right now. All right, this is nothing. Who was the MVP of last year's Big East tournament?
Colin Gillespie.
It is Colin Gillespie. These guys are on the board. CJ and Kirby are up 1-0. So now you're trying to force the tiebreaker.
Let's do
it.
I'm confident.
You are trying to force the tiebreaker here. You're down 1-0.
Been there before.
You've been there before. Exactly. You've trailed before. Here we go. Question number 3. All right, here we go. Which new Big East member, meaning since 2013-14, that joined the league that year, has reached the most Big East tournament championship games?
Creighton.
You guys have evened the score. Wow. All right, we're even at 1, which means we have to go to the tiebreaker, which is presented tonight by Samuel Adams. Boston Beer, our proud sponsor. We thank Boston Beer for being a sponsor of the show and for being a sponsor with the Big East. Our fellows at Boston Beer, that's what our overtime is presented by. And for that overtime question, who won the first Big East tournament championship post-realignment?
Providence.
These guys have come back to win it! Fellas, what happened? What happened?
I know that was actually our senior year.
That was their senior year. Were you guys bombed at the game? Were you competent?
At the time, maybe not. We won, but yes.
Oh, these guys have won it. Congratulations, fellas. They're going to the Big East tournament. You guys are still taking home some Stout gift certificates. Good performance, all right? There's round 1 of trivia. The Friar fans, even they, there it is. Who's winning? Who's winning tonight? There it is. We got more trivia coming up. But first, let's ask the experts. We bring in Rob Douster from the Field of 68 tonight and Kevin McNamara from the KMAX Sports Hour. They gave their thoughts on tonight's Huskies-Friars showdown in stores. UConn Providence, since Connecticut's return to the Big East, what has it become?
It's become, for my money, the best rivalry in that conference. It's the proximity of the two fan bases. It is how similar they are as human beings. You know, there's a certain way that we carry ourselves in New England, and I think that both Connecticut fans and Providence fans kind of embody that. But I think more than anything else, it's just great for the league. It's great for the sport. It's great for the conference. You know, it's been a long time since UConn versus Providence was something that was relevant outside of 2 of the smallest states in our country. And now it's something where it's going to be a nationally televised game that everyone is going to be paying attention to. It's going to be the biggest game of the night on a Wednesday night in late February with legitimate Big East title implications on the line, with legitimate top 4 seed implications on the line. It doesn't get better than this. This is why we love the sport. This exact reason, this exact game.
Okay, Mac?
Yeah, I'm with Rob there. But right off the top, we need Connecticut fans to admit that this is a rivalry. And I get it. I get it from where UConn is. I get it from where Providence is. Providence's rival has been Villanova for 10 years. I don't think Villanova considered Providence their rival. And Providence has been thirsting for this rival. And UConn has zipped by Villanova. It's like Villanova no longer exists. UConn went straight to the top. And, you know, Rob, you hit it all right there. I don't know how many more times, hopefully a lot, that there's going to be a late February game, either at Gamble, Hartford, or in Providence where they're both in the top 25 and both going for the Big East regular season championship, wow, sign me up. Looking forward to it.
Let's turn to the matchup itself. In the first meeting between these two teams, January the 4th, Providence took it over Connecticut 73-61. On that night, Bryce Hopkins went for 27 points. Ed Croswell had 13 and 13. Rob Doster for the UConn Huskies to reverse the script and win the second meeting between these two teams. What has to happen?
Big picture for UConn, what you need for them to be at their best is Tristan Newton playing like a guy that can go out and get a triple-double in a Big East game, playing like the one guy that's gotten 2 triple-doubles in the last decade for this program. And you need Andre Jackson to be playing as aggressive and as energetically as he possibly can. Those are the two things that they need to control themselves. In terms of what you have to do to stop Providence, it's Bryce Hopkins, man. Like, you got to find a way to slow that dude down. He is a monster that can get you 30 if he feels like he's going to get you 30. He can go get 6, 7, 8 offensive rebounds. He can make threes. He is the matchup nightmare. And the place where you've been able to attack UConn this season is at the 4 spot. Alex Caravan has gotten much better over the course of the last month at defending players at the 4 spot. But we saw it with Zach Fremantle. We saw it with Omax earlier this year. We saw it with Bryce Hopkins. That's where teams could find the matchup advantage was against Caravan. One thing I'm looking for, K-Mac, I would not be surprised to see UConn run that 2 big lineup and throw Adama Sanogo out there at the 4 a little bit. It's not ideal. I don't think you want to risk him picking up fouls, trying to chase Bryce Hopkins around the perimeter 17, 18, 19 feet away from the basket. But he's the one dude on UConn that has the strength and physicality to handle Bryce when he decides he wants to go to the rim. Because I don't know how many people in college basketball can stop that dude when he says, hey, I'm going to go to the bucket. Good luck slowing me down.
Well, it's funny, Rob. I think the best player in that first game on UConn's side was Donovan Clingan. Providence doesn't have a 7-footer. Clifton Moore has underperformed. He's their resident 7-footer. He doesn't really play very much. Ed Croswell is the best, maybe one of the best 5 undersized centers in the country. I mean, look at his numbers. He's getting 20 and 10 on a regular basis, and he's 6'8" on a good day. He's probably more like 6'7". You have that really big UConn lineup. That can present serious problems for Providence. But the issue in this game, I hate to put it all on the referees, but Providence had 29 free throws to 10 in the first game. UConn could not guard Providence off the bounce, and that goes to Bryce Hopkins. That goes to Devin Carter. That goes a little bit more to some other guards. If they drive the ball at UConn and they can't keep them in front, that's the problem. And I think that's the key to this ball game.
I'll start with you, K-Mac, then we'll go to Rob. On the Big East tournament this particular year, and if there's a storyline or team that you're especially intrigued by to see if they can climb the mountaintop at Madison Square Garden.
All right, so these UConn and PC fans won't like this, but I don't want either one of them to win the league because I want them to be the 4 and the 5 seed. I think that would match them up on Thursday at 2:30. Manhattan would be completely out of control from 10 a.m. to about, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. But that window, oh, my God, just sign me up for that. And one of the teams would have to go home by 5 o'clock on Thursday. So how about that? I'll take that.
I don't know if there is enough beer in any of the bars around Madison Square Garden to be able to support Providence against UConn at 2:30 in the afternoon. Because no matter what happens, one of those fan bases is going off to drink away their sorrows, and the other one is going off to party and celebrate for just knocking off their rival, right? So the storyline I'm really fascinated, and this is going to be a little bit probably different than what you were expecting, John, is I cannot shake the idea that a Villanova team with a healthy Justin Moore, that key there, healthy Justin Moore, and those other 4 starters, Cam Whitmore, Brandon Slater, Eric Dixon, and Caleb Daniels, that team has as good of a starting 5 as anybody this side of Creighton, in my mind.
Charter members going at it in the Big East tournament. Oh, count it!
If he wins this one, it'll be a gem. What a game at the world's most famous arena.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Big E Shootaround live from Stout Bar, New York City. We are at West 39th Street at Bryant Park location, the brand new Bryant Park location. Come on out to Stout. Various locations. Obviously, there's one right by Madison Square Garden. We encourage you to come out whenever you can during the Big East tournament because they're going to have special deals, folks. The burger and beer deal will be running throughout Big East tournament week. We've got a Big East burger right here in front of me. This is my dinner here, guys, once we're done with the show. On the burger, white cheddar, in honor of Bill Raftery, crispy onions, and stout sauce on a perfect brioche bun. So you can get this Big East burger throughout week. Also got the burger beer special and Boston Lager remastered. We thank our friends over at Boston Beer, proud partner of the Big East Conference. You can get the deal at Stout Bryant Park and Stout Penn Station locations. Enough about that. Let's talk trivia here. I've got a couple of Villanova guys. I've got a Seton Hall guy. Alexander's here. Peter and Matt are here. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
What's the reaction to last night's win at Xavier?
About time. Justin Moore's finally back.
Do you feel like Villanova could be a dark horse in the Big East tournament?
If we make threes, we're going to shoot.
Plenty of momentum, Madison Square Garden, anything can happen.
Before.
Right. Let's turn to another first-year head coach in the Big East, Shaheen Holloway and the Pirates. They just announced a sellout Friday night as Seton Hall welcomes in number 16 Xavier. So, look, it's been an interesting year one. But I'll tell you what, they play hard.
Oh, yeah.
What have you made of it?
Well, I will say I've been to 2 games this year.
Yep.
They were kind of iffy. It was that game against Georgetown, which they won, which is good.
They won.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just looking at it through a positive lens.
Yes.
A tournament, an NCAA tournament berth might not be in the sights. NIT is fine with me, honestly.
This year.
But that means, I think that's a good stepping stone. I mean, last year Xavier went to the NIT. They won. And now look at them.
Right.
So if Seton Hall can do something similar to that with a new coach, I think that would be a good thing to do.
Is Seton Hall Villanova a rivalry?
I'm not sure.
No shot.
I'll tell you.
No shot.
I'll tell you this. I'll let you guys in on a secret. I haven't been to Seton Hall. I'm a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay, you're a Panther, but you're a Seton Hall fan?
I'm a Seton Hall fan. I grew up watching
That's fine.
Seton Hall.
We'll accept that. He's been true.
And I'll tell you this much. Every time I've seen Villanova play Seton Hall, Villanova has won. So I'm going to have to agree with them and say no.
So
no rivalry.
I would say maybe in the contemporary, recent era, but if the long, deep history of those games between, Seton Hall and Villanova, I would say that exists there.
So Alex is a Seton Hall fan, and he missed the 2016 Big East
Championship.
Championship.
That was actually the first thing I ever saw.
So who won that game?
I did, yeah, but that was
Yeah, I got you. All right, are we ready for some trivia?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Winners get Big East tournament tickets. The losers still get a Stout gift certificate, but we all know you want to be inside the garden. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Question number one. It's that question we asked around one that the teams could not answer. Who has won the most Big East tournament titles all time?
I'm going to guess Nova.
That is incorrect. Who has won the most? You guessed Georgetown.
Yeah.
You are correct. Good start for Peter and Matt. That's history, exactly. I was going to re-ask the question. Patrick Ewing days, right. Well, that's right. You got it. Ewing the player. Got it. Yes. Which takes us to question number 2. Question 2. What year did the Big East send 3 teams to the Final Four?
1985.
Bonus points if you could tell me who.
Villanova, Georgetown, and St. John's.
Wow. Peter and Matt want some Big East tournament tickets. Alex, we're down 5-0.
I did throw my hand up. They didn't throw their hand up. Just saying. But that's fine. I'm cool with
And
it.
Seton Hall says we need a timeout. Let's do question 3. Maybe we can fight back somehow, Alex. Come on. Help me out. Let's go here. How many years has the Big East called Madison Square Garden its tournament home? How many years?
This is the tournament home, not the entire
tournament home.
conference, just the tournament
Yeah, the tournament home. Great point.
home. Okay. I want to guess since.
Yep. So the conference was founded in 1979.
That I know.
He's got that.
I know that.
I might even give him a around the horn point for that.
Right.
You know, when they like
Yeah.
5-1.
Come on.
He has a chance to get with his three now.
ACC trivia, I'd be wiping the floor, but it's not.
Well, this is not ACC
That's what I'm
trivia.
saying,
The ACC has had a horrible year. The Big East has had a very strong year, and we're not here to talk about the ACC.
I think the ACC has done a fine job. Anyway,
Oh, ask Louisville and Florida State. Go on.
I'm asking Pitt. Anyway, I'm gonna say 85. I'm gonna. Oh wait,
85 was the first
yes,
year.
that's what I'm gonna say.
It's incorrect.
We would just be shooting in the dark. We'll go third.
We should go with the alignment.
All right. Yeah.
It's a
There we go.
trick question. Let's
Okay.
go since 2014. Let's say it's the 9th year. Let's say
The ninth-
ACC used to have
The
it.
9th year of the Big East tournament,
At the-
you
at the
just
Garden.
lost 2 points. You're down to 3. You just lost 2. These guys, how did you just say
I
that?
thought you said since it's been at the Garden.
Yeah, but it's been at the Garden.
I thought
Cardiac Kemba 6 overtime game.
Right.
They won the Natty that year too. That was Cal.
Right. Where did they win it at? Come on now. Wasn't it Wells Fargo? It's now 3-1. We're going to keep playing here. These guys haven't earned it yet. They
I didn't
just
even
lost.
know I got a point.
You did. You got a point for knowing that the Big East was founded in 1979, even though you did tell me if this was ACC trivia, you'd be crushing it.
Well, I would. It's not though. That's the thing. I can admit that. I admit that it's not.
Here we go.
He seems angry at me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not angry at you. I like you. I want to see you climb here. I'm giving you a chance. All
I
right.
appreciate that.
Here we go. Let's see here. How many overtimes did Syracuse and UConn play?
6.
4.
Alex, it's not your day.
No, it's not.
Peter and Matt, you guys win. Congratulations.
Wait, you talked about the 6 overtime game before
During the segment.
Yeah. Why did you ask the question then?
I gift wrapped you a question. Alex, I'm sorry.
It's Alexander. Don't.
Oh,
Alexander.
Alexander, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Enjoy Mets season.
I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, and we had fun. Have a fry.
I'm gonna have 2.
There you go. Have 2. Hey, for Alexander, for Peter, for Matt, come on out to Stout. Thank you to Stout Bar, New York City. We're at West 39th Street. Come pay us a visit if you're still around. And you got to try this Big East burger. I have yet to try it. That's how we're capping off the show here. This thing is awesome. You've got bacon, you've got onion, you've got cheese.
Got the Raff onions.
Medium rare. Pink's the only way to go, baby. Big East basketball coming your way. 6:30 FS1 as Providence takes on UConn. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the Big East tournament, and you better hang out at Stout Ford. Thanks to Ben Piasek and Bobby Mullen. I'm John Fanta. Thanks to Peter, Matt, Alexander, our contestants. We'll see you next time on Shootaround.